Guys, in this video, I'll be talking about the functioning of scanning electron microscope, and I'll not be talking about its historical purview. I'll be just talking about the functioning of a scanning electron microscope and under which circumstances this electron microscope can be used. So you can see a diagram is over here. On the top of this diagram, there is an electron gun. So this is the internal probable geometry of a scanning electron microscope. So this scanning electron microscope is a powerful imaging instrument that uses electron beam to examine the surface of the sample in high detail. It provides a three-dimensional view of the sample surface by scanning a focused electron beam across the specimen and detecting the emitted signal. Here's an overview of the working of an electron microscope. So the first thing that here is on top of this image that's not observable, that is electron gun. So this electron gun it emits electrons. So what happens in this case is the SEM starts with an electron gun that generates a beam of high energy electrons. The electron gun typically consists of a filament that emits electrons when heated and an electron accelerating anode that accelerates the emitted electron towards the sample. This electron beam formation is subjected to some kind of focusing. So you have the beam of electrons, and we want that beam to be focused on some specific portion of the sample. So the emitted electrons are accelerated by applying high voltage between the filaments and anode. You can see there are magnetic lenses and with the SEM help, focus the electron beam into a narrow and well-defined probe. You can see that, right? And what should be the sample preparation in this case? Before imaging, the sample needs to be properly prepared to be compatible with SEM analysis. The sample is typically coated with a thin layer of conductive material, such as gold or carbon, to enhance its ability to conduct electrons and prevent charging effects. The focused electron beam, finally we have the focused electron beam is scanned across the surface of the sample in a raster pattern. As the electron beam interacts with the sample, several types of signals are generated. You can see here in this diagram, there are different kinds of things that are generated out of this sample. Now, what are these several types of signals that are generating from the sample? It can be secondary electrons. These are low energy electrons emitted from the sample surface due to the interaction with the primary electron beam. So there can be backscattered electrons. These are high energy electrons. You can see here that undergo elastic scattering, or we also call it backscattering from the sample's atomic nucleus on the surface of that beam. And there are extra interactions of the electron beam with the sample can generate what we generally call as bremstalling. And then we have the detector, and detectors within the SEM collect and measure these signals. The signals collected by the detectors are converted into electrical signals. These signals are then processed and amplified to create a grayscale image or false color image depending on detection mode that's being used in a particular device. The image formed the image formed by correlating the detected signals with the position of the electron beam during the scanning. The resulting SEM images are displayed on a monitor or captured digitally for further analysis and interpretations. The resulting SEM images that we obtain, they are subjected to some kind of simulation where the images can be magnified and can be weaved in a very different directional mode. Now, performing this whole experiment, there are a couple of important things that are involved. The very first important thing is that this whole system must be in vacuum kind of situation, because if there is presence of some kind of air molecules in the system, there will be scatterings that will occur by virtue of the electrons that have been coming from the electron gun. So creating a very approximate vacuum in scanning electron microscope is a primary. It's a primary importance that should be kept in mind. Additionally, the sample should be electrically conductive or properly coated to avoid charging effects that are caused by the accumulation of electrons on the sample surface. Overall, the scanning electron microscope enables researchers to obtain high-detailed images of surfaces, their morphologies, the compositions, uh, and analyzing the microstructures that are available on the surfaces of these materials.